This is a great time to propagate some basil. Even though it's going to flower, you can still easily propagate it in water. This is an easy herb to start with. All you're gonna do is you're gonna cut. You don't wanna cut into the brown part. You wanna make sure that you still have some of the green part. So I'm just gonna cut above a node. A node is anywhere the leaves are coming out. So you'll notice that there's stem, leaves, stem, leaves. So I'm gonna cut down pretty far to here. And I'm actually gonna, oh, we got a caterpillar. And I'm gonna get a few cuttings out of this. Now this is, I usually do this every fall, and I've been growing the same plant, just propagating it for at least 3 years now. And I give them away. Sometimes I trade them, sometimes I sell them, but mostly I just make a whole lot of pesto. All right, let me show you how to prep them. We've got some fresh cut basil. What I like to do now is give it a good rinse. You're gonna find critters like this caterpillar. I try not to kill them, but that doesn't mean I don't put them on a bird table for the birds. All I do is give it a good rinse, try to get any debris or critters off. And you can see we're already getting some. Now, this is not clean enough to eat, but it's clean enough to bring inside. I try not to bring bugs in my house. I'm really hoping that I can soon build my outdoor kitchen to at least have a place to wash and prep veggies to bring them inside, because that would sure keep a mess down. Look at how much stuff. Lots of stuff. Now, all you do is you put it in water. You need a couple of nodes free, you put it in water. This has been, oh, probably 2 months now, so it's very forgiving because it was rooted after about 2 weeks. But I just keep forgetting about it. We'll pot that up today. You just need water, and I like a jar that has a narrow mouth or neck so that it holds them tight and they don't fall in. Now all I'm gonna do is start prepping them. So there's a little side shoot here. Let me try to make it easy to see. There's a little side shoot here. I'm gonna cut that off. And then I'm gonna take off most of the leaves. Now I'm not gonna just rip these off. I'm gonna use my fingernail here to nip it off. And that's important because in the nodes are specialized cells that can become roots or new leaves or any kind of, any part of the plant. So we don't wanna damage those cells by ripping it off. So I've taken off 1, 2. This is gonna be the 3rd node that I'm taking it off. And I just keep going until there's only about 2 sets of leaves at the top. So the leaves are kind of like their lungs. This is how they breathe in and out, but it's also where they lose the majority of their water. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, let's do it like this so you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes that I have stripped the leaves off of. And then I just plop it in the water. You can see why a narrow neck is going to help prevent this from going just all the way down and just completely rotting in the water. We want it to sit up about here, and once we get a few more cuttings in, it will. I have these leaves. I'm going to take them inside, clean them up really well, and we'll make some pesto. Okay, now this is a cutting I would make into multiple cuttings. As long as you have about 3 or 4 good nodes per cutting, you're going to be okay. So I'm going to make the bottom one longer, and the top one, I'm going to take it down to here, and I'm cutting just above a node. Okay. See how, so these nodes, you can see there's leaves coming out. We're going to take all those off, and again, I'm just going to use my fingernail, nip it right off. Okay, let's say you don't have nails. Use a knife. All you're gonna do is come underneath like this, and then just dunk right off. Now this knife is not particularly sharp, so I'm not worried about cutting my hand. You could also go this direction and just hold it still and fold this back over the top. And there's actually a little too much left right here. This right here, this like extra stem part from the leaves, that will rot in the water. So we wanna cut that off. So carefully with your knife, I'm gonna just give it a little trim. Fall is a great time to do this because plants are at that perfect stage where it's a semi-hardwood cutting. So the hardwood is the brown part of the stem, and the softwood is the very top where it's really flexible. See how the top is super flexible, but this part is much more rigid. That means it's gonna root much better. So see, as we put in a few more, they're good to go. So the leaf is going up. I know I have it upside down, but I'm gonna pull the leaf off in the same direction it's growing. That prevents it from ripping backwards. So if I do it like this, see how it's pulling and ripping it backwards? That's damaged all those cells. And even though these are small, they're still good enough. And this leaf is really big and it's gonna dry out your cutting really fast. This cutting's probably not gonna do well because we ripped it right there, but I'm still gonna throw it in. All right, and then see, I always tell you white roots are healthy roots. See how these are turning brown? That is because I have been a negligent plant mom and I have just left them to fend for themselves for like a month. Now, if I can get them apart, we're gonna give them a little pot up. Now, I think I might be able to get them apart a little easier in the water. Ta-da! Now we're gonna give both of these a little pot up and they should be very happy. We're gonna just cut you a little shorter. And that looks good. Yeah, that looks better. All I'm gonna do is make a big hole and put these in. I'm gonna put this one in. I think I'll give this guy his own spot. Now they have a lot of funny roots here. All right, good enough. Perfect? No, but plants are pretty resilient. I'm gonna put this in the shade on the patio because if I put it straight into sun, it's gonna just dry up. It needs about a week to get settled into this, and then it'll start putting out some pretty good growth. And I can actually take cuttings from this too and just keep taking cuttings. It takes about 2 weeks for the cuttings to root well enough to be able to pot them up. And I can tell you from experience, if you forget about them but keep them watered for about 2 months, they still work. So they're pretty forgiving to start with. This and mint are probably the easiest herbs to start propagating. This fall I'm going to be propagating a ton of different herbs and hoping to have little mini herb gardens to give away to friends for Christmas. So if you want to join me on that, it's a great Christmas present. It does cost time and it's not free. So gardening is not free, but it is a really thoughtful gift, and it is, I mean, worst case scenario, you get some practice out of it. All right, guys, that's everything you need to know. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, a subscribe, some kind of interaction. Comments are super useful. For every one comment, it's worth like 100 likes, so it's a big deal to me if you comment. And I appreciate you guys watching. Bye.